Okay. I think I'm streaming. Am I streaming? Let me check. Okay. I think. There we go. Okay. Yes, I am streaming. Welcome. Welcome to another exciting edition of the MBLEx Test Prep live stream. I'm David, your host, owner, founder of MBLEx Test Prep. MBLExTestPrep.com is the web address. Really quick. Do have a study guide available. MBLEx Test Prep Comprehensive Study Guide and Workbook 2017 edition, available on Amazon.com. Where else? MBLExTestPrep.com. You can buy this directly from MBLExTestPrep.com. Comes with all kinds of fun stuff. Over 700 practice test questions. You won't find that in any other book. Comprehensive reviews on every subject that you could possibly see on the MBLEx. Awesome pictures, etc., etc. So definitely check that out. Pick that up for yourself so you are properly prepared for the MBLEx. So this, again, question and answer stream. So I am here to answer your questions as they come in. So feel free to fire away. I guess, like I do with every live stream, I'll just give you kind of an update on what's going on until I actually get some questions. See, I'm still working on my pathology book, which is going to take a while. It's just don't expect that to be done anytime soon. But I'm still working on it. There's just a lot that goes into it. Kinesiology book, I just need to get a cover made for it. Otherwise, that's done. My new kinesiology book. Other than that, I mean, everything's good in the hood as far as I know. Today I am drinking a chocolate orange stout that I made a few years ago. This has been here in my refrigerator, much to my wife's chagrin. She keeps telling me she's going to throw it away because I never drink it. But today I'm actually drinking it. So, yeah, so like I said, it's a question and answer, so feel free to fire away any questions you have about the MBLEx. If you want me to review any information, I mean, I'm here. I'm ready to party hard, so let's do it. Otherwise, as always, I'll just keep talking and talking and talking. This isn't going to be a super long question and answer session, and I always say that every single time I do one of these, I say that. It legitimately won't be that long. I'm thinking maybe half an hour with this one. So if you got questions, if you want me to review any information while I'm here, just let me know what you wanna see and what you want to hear. That's what I'm here for. So otherwise, like I said, keep talking. There will be an update coming for this book in the next few months, prepping it for 2018. Not a whole lot of changes coming to this one, but yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Just updating it a little bit for this book, which you can find on Amazon.com. Hey, Owen, can you turn it down just a little, please? The remote is right next to you. So any questions? I mean, I'm here. If you want to talk about any specific subjects, if you're having trouble with one specific topic, I'm here to help. So, well, that's good to hear, Angela. Did you pass? Angelo says he just took the MBLEx, not as hard as I thought it would be. Read the test prep. It was good. So I'm glad to hear that. Did you pass? That's the important thing. And remember, just because, even if you don't pass, he says, yep. Angelo says, yep, Angelo passed. So congratulations. That's, back when I was actually teaching at a school, the class I taught was the test prep class. in addition to all of the other classes that they had me do once in a while. But my main class was a test prep class, and the best part of my job was when students would tell me that they actually passed. So congratulations, I'm really happy to hear it. So again, even if you don't pass, it's not that big of a deal. You can always retake the test after 30 days, and it just gives you a little extra time to study. So I don't know if Angelo wants to share with anybody what Angelo saw. Yes, it is best to be over-prepared. Now, without getting into like specific test questions or anything, like, what kind of content was asked on your exam? I just don't want you to get in trouble for divulging too much information. Like, I could go on and on about all the test questions I saw on the exam, but I won't, because the FSMTV doesn't want me to. Doesn't want anybody to, in fact. They don't want you to tell all of your fellow students what's on the test, even though everybody does. So, like, what's some information that you remember seeing on your exam? Wonder how long it's going to take me to finish this. I'm kind of a social drinker. If I'm talking to people while I'm drinking, I usually drink pretty fast. So this might be a fun afternoon for me. I think this is my only one, so I'll be fine. So it is always best to be over-prepared, as Angelo says. The better prepared you are, the more prepared you are, the more likely it is that you're going to pass the test. So you don't want to go into an exam like this where your entire career kind of depends on it. Your potential career depends on it. Having understudied. So yeah, just make sure you're properly studying. You're using your study time efficiently. And that's another thing about my book, is I leave out all of the stuff that you don't really need from my book. There's a lot of information in other guides that is just way too in-depth. Way too much information that you don't actually need to know. So with mine, I like to kind of pare it down to the smaller stuff. So, any questions about the MBLEx? Anything? Anything I can help with? I got 3 people watching. I know Sunday afternoon / evening, wherever you happen to be. Maybe everybody's a little busy, but we got 3 people. Somebody's got to have a question. You gotta. Let me see. What can I talk about here? Trying to pick a fun topic, something that not everybody knows. Yeah, this is really riveting stuff. Watching me figure out what to talk about. Okay, let me see. All right, well, let's talk about. Let me look in my book, see if there's anything fun in my book that I can talk about. That's just kind of flipping through pages. I'm looking at all these fun pictures and stuff. really exciting. I know it's. I promise. It'll pick up in just a second. Hold on. I'm just trying to find something to teach you. That's all. Something that I can make relatively fun to learn, to watch. Something that I haven't gone over before in any of my videos. Since apparently nobody wants to send me any questions, again, if you have any questions about the MBLEx, what's on the exam, or anything like that, send them my way. We can talk about it. Let's see. Here's a fun photo. I'm going to show this to you. That picture right there. This was actually a student of mine who cut her thumb. I'm sure you can see that. Cut her thumb opening a can of condensed milk. She used to work at like a Vietnamese place. So they did, like smoothies and weird stuff. So she was opening a can of condensed milk and sliced her thumb clean open. There's blood everywhere. That picture looks, it's pretty much red when you see a color photo. She got a lot of stitches on that. A lot of stitches needed to get that back where it needs to be. And she says she doesn't really feel anything in that part of her thumb anymore, which kind of makes sense. I mean, you sever nerves, and nervous tissue sometimes can regenerate, sometimes can't. So it seems to be a case where the nervous tissue in that part of her body, her thumb, did not regenerate. So I got permission to use that in my book. So. All right, Keena Young says, what is the best way to study the muscles? Well, I mean, what aspect of the muscles do you want to study? Do you want to study the structure of the muscles? Do you want to study the attachment sites of the muscles? Do you want to study the actions of the muscles? There are lots of different aspects of the muscles. I assume you're talking about attachment sites and possibly actions too. Something I have done in the past, and I recommend students do, is get as interactive with it as possible. If you're studying specific muscles and attachment sites, I mean, you can look in a book all day long and just try to memorize it. But if you actually, put your knowledge to use, makes it a lot easier to learn. So having a partner that you can palpate the muscles on is always a good idea. So the first thing you need to do, especially if you are trying to study attachment sites, is you need to be able to identify the attachment sites on an actual body. Like I said, you can look at a book all day long and it won't actually make a ton of sense for some people. But if you can feel it on a body, I always say you remember doing stuff like palpating a body, feeling an actual bony landmark in your hands as opposed to just looking at it in a book. So find a partner. If you're studying the attachment sites, find a partner. Palpate the attachment sites. Figure out where the attachment sites are, and your instructor should be helping you do that. But I mean, I can feel the jugular notch right here. I am palpating that. I can feel the acromion process right here and just over here. I mean, I've got enormous pecs, but I gotta kind of work through. But I can feel the coracoid process right there. That helps me identify exactly where those bony landmarks are in the body, is actually feeling them. Knowing where they are on my body can help me figure out what muscles attach to them. Then you just kind of, I mean, it is kind of memorization with the muscles that attach to them. A lot of times, though, I mean, if you know what muscles do, like what specific actions muscles do, makes it pretty easy to figure out which muscle does what. If you know that, say, I don't know, coracobrachialis flexes the shoulder, brings the shoulder up like this, you can palpate the coracoid process. You can and feel free to do this right now as we're talking about it. palpate your coracoid process right about here. Right about here. That's where you find that. So you got the acromion process, then there's kind of a little dip, and then feels like a bone sticking out right there. That's the coracoid process. So actually palpate that, and then proceed to flex your shoulder. Bring it up like this, and you'll feel that contract. I can even just starting the action, I feel all those muscles contract, all the muscles that help to flex the shoulder. So doing that, palpating yourself as you perform these actions, palpating other people as they perform the actions, and feeling all those muscles contract can help you remember what muscles do what. Because you will remember doing stuff like that instead of just reading it in the book. Like, yeah, I can tell you all day long the deltoid abducts the shoulder, but unless you are actually palpating the muscle and then having somebody perform that action, you're not gonna see it tighten up. You're not gonna feel that muscle. But when they do it, it's like, oh man, that muscle is definitely contracting. It'll help you learn it a lot better. So make sure you are when you're doing the muscles and attachment sites, make sure you are palpating. Work on somebody. If you can't work on somebody, you can still do it on yourself. Some of those muscles are a little tricky to palpate on yourself, especially the ones on the back, or even like the hamstrings or something. Those are kind of tricky. Something else I recommend students do, I know not everybody can do it. Some people can't show up to work with marks all over their body, but draw the muscles on yourself, and that like I said, you will remember doing stuff like drawing muscles on your body. Let me see. I just cleaned out my desk, so I gotta find a marker. Hold on. So I'm not sure if I've ever talked about this before on a live stream. It feels like I have, but can't hurt to go over it again. So like if I'm studying the brachialis, I'm gonna read where it is. I'm going to know that it crosses the elbow, so I'm looking for a muscle on the anterior portion of the body that crosses the elbow. I know that it originates on the anterior distal shaft of the humerus. So humerus here, anterior, this side distal down here. So it's just right here. So all I'm going to do is actually draw like that. And then I got to get a little specific. I got to figure out which side of the forearm does it attach to. I know that it attaches to the coronoid process and the ulnar tuberosity, both on the ulna. I've got a cat about to make an appearance. Yep, there's an ear. So I will draw down onto the medial side where the ulna is. And I know that those don't go very far, so that's where I will cut it off. And then, make it a little more detailed. But look, there's my brachialis right there. So when I contract, the brachialis tightens up like that. That forces the biceps on. So I'll remember doing something like that. It's like, hey, look at my brachialis right there. Look at my brachialis. Again, not everybody can show up to work the next day covered in markers. So if you can, or if you have a day off the next day or something like that, and you really want to study the muscles, try drawing muscles on yourself. Or if you have kids, you can draw all over them all day long, and I'm sure they have a blast doing that. So that's what I recommend. Doing stuff like that will help you remember a lot of the muscles. So hopefully that helps. And remember, when it comes to the muscles, a lot of the muscles are named after, there are a lot of factors that go into how a muscle is named. Hold on. Muscles can be named after what they do. All of the, or at least 3 of the adductor muscles are named after their action, which is adduction of the thigh. All of your wrist flexors, anything that has flexor in it, flexes the wrist. Anything that has extensor in it extends the wrist, etc., etc. So muscles can be named after what they do, where they're located, like biceps brachii is in the brachial region, brachialis in the brachial region, brachioradialis originates up here on the humerus in the region of the arm, the brachial region. They can be named after where they attach too. This cat getting in the way. So they can be named after where they attach, like the anterior superior, or excuse me. So you got, I mean, what's a muscle that's named after where it attaches? Hold on. Why am I drawing a blank right now? Man. Coracobrachialis. We just talked about that. Originates on the coracoid process, of course. So that, I mean, that's an example. Muscles can be named after where they attach. Peroneus longus, peroneus brevis. Both of those are muscles that are named after where they attach. They both attach to the fibula. Peroné means fibula. So a lot of times you just look at the name of a muscle, and that can tell you a ton of information about it. So, I mean, really study those when you're studying your muscles. You got to look at the names. You got to figure out what the name is saying. What does brachialis tell you? It's in the brachial region, right? So, I mean, that's pretty easy. So when you're studying muscles, make sure you're studying the names. Make sure you can break down, like in my study guide right here, MBLEx Test Prep Comprehensive Study Guide and Workbook 2017 edition, which you can find on Amazon.com or MBLExTestPrep.com. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Trying to get through all of the practice tests. Oh, I can't find it. What I do, especially when I'm tutoring, I am available for tutoring, by the way. So if anybody's ever interested in tutoring, just send me an email, massagetestprep@gmail.com, or go to MBLExTestPrep.com, hit the Contact Us button, and that'll send an email directly to me. So I do tutoring, so if you are looking for tutoring, I'm your guy. Anyway, so when I tutor, when I go over the muscle actions, what I do is break it down into each action for each specific joint. So I'll do, I don't go over every single muscle. I go over about 35 muscles that you need to know. But I go over, like I'll break it down into, what are the main muscles that perform shoulder flexion. Then I'll give, we'll go over a list of like 4 or 5 muscles that perform shoulder flexion. So really, they're only about 20 actions that you need to know, and a lot of those muscles perform multiple actions. So I mean, it's not so difficult where you can't just group those together and make flashcards out of them. I recommend doing flashcards for sure, which you can find on MBLExTestPrep.com if you order my study guide, MBLExTestPrep.com, or Comprehensive Study Guide and Workbook 2017 edition. You get access to all of my online content, including unlimited online practice tests and online flashcards, which are awesome. So you make flashcards out of, have one side say shoulder flexion, then on the back side you have like pec major, anterior deltoid, biceps brachii, coracobrachialis. And then you can reverse it. Say, okay, I see all of those muscles. What is the action that all of those muscles perform? So there are a lot of ways to actually study for the muscles. So I hope that helped. I know I kind of ramble on and on and on about how to study for the muscles, but I know the muscles are a big thing, and a lot of people have difficulty with the muscles. I mean, even I was one of those in the first semester I took. I had a really bad first semester of massage school. I had a lot going on in my personal life that I'd rather not get into, but it caused me to not do so well in my classes. But after that, gravy. So I know muscles are one of those things that a lot of people have problems with. So hopefully some of those help you understand the muscles a little bit better. Yeah, so I'm still here for another 6 minutes or so. 6 minutes. Any other questions? any other questions that I could possibly answer about the MBLEx or any material that you want me to go over? Anyone? Anyone? So, like I said, I will be updating the MBLEx study guide in a couple months. If you're kind of looking for a guide, I just get it now. Don't wait. But the update, I'm thinking about putting flashcards in the book that you would be able to cut out and actually use. And then just kind of making a couple other minor changes. So it's not going to be like a huge update. But that's what I'm thinking anyway. I don't know. Could be good. Man, what else? I'm trying to think of fun stuff that you guys might want to know. I'm really bad at coming up with stories on my own. People that ask me stories. Man, I don't know. So I'm finishing up my massage curriculum for a massage school. So hopefully in the next year or so that'll be open. I gotta find someone to partner with possibly because I don't have the money to fully open it myself, unfortunately, at this point. Which is another reason it'd be a good idea for you to order a copy of my study guide, MBLEx Test Prep Comprehensive Study Guide and Workbook 2017 edition, because whatever money I get from that sale will go towards helping me open that massage school, and we need more massage schools out here. So, yeah, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you have ordered my book, MBLEx Test Prep Comprehensive Study Guide and Workbook 2017 edition from Amazon, if you order this book from Amazon, please leave a review of it on Amazon. Reviews go a long way towards helping me make a living and providing for my family, and it would be much, much appreciated. Thank you in advance. All right. Any other questions? I mean, I got two people watching. That means two people are interested in what I have to say potentially. There's a kind of a debate over that, whether anyone actually cares what I have to say. But I'm here to help. So any questions? Any questions you got, I am here to answer. So I got about 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. I feel like Eric Bischoff summoning 3-minute warning. If anybody gets that reference, I apologize. I apologize. But, yeah. Kina asked, how long should you study so you won't burn out? I mean, are you talking about overall studying or like per night? Because there are different, there are a lot of different answers for that specific question. It all depends on how well prepared you actually are for the exam, how much you think you need to study. Honestly, I wouldn't spend more than 2 hours a night studying, and that's with taking breaks every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, you take a break, and it doesn't have to be a long break. It's just something that separates your mind from the studying, kind of hits the reset button on your studying. And there have been studies done that show that studying for 10 minutes and taking a break actually helps you retain information a lot better than studying for a full hour straight. So it's called the serial position effect, if anybody cares to take a look at that. Serial, like a serial number, serial, S-E-R-I-A-L, serial. So study for 10 minutes, take a short break, then get back to studying. Because how it works, you tend to remember things at the beginning of a study session and the end of a study session a lot better than you remember things in the middle. So the beginning of your study session, you study, and then you start to forget things right in that little 2-minute period, and then the rest of that, that last 4 minutes, you remember that information. So then you take a break. So that's one study block. So doing it that way, then taking a break, that ensures that you only have a couple minutes worth of material to restudy. You won't remember the stuff in the middle as well as you will at the beginnings and ends, so you shorten the study sessions. That shortens the amount of information that you have to then restudy. As opposed to if you study for a full hour without taking a break, that's, maybe 15 minutes at the beginning and 15 minutes at the end that you remember, and then you got an entire half hour worth of stuff that that you need to go back and restudy, and that's a lot better than, or that's a lot worse than having to go back and study information again for like 10 minutes, if that makes sense. So study for, at most, I'd say 2 hours a night. Give yourself plenty of time to study. So if you're preparing for the MBLEx in the next month or two, that should be plenty of time for you to study. Couple hours a night at the most. Don't go above that. Couple hours a night, do 10-minute study sessions, take a break for a couple minutes between those study periods, those 10-minute periods, and you should remember information a lot better. So try that out. And I do lay out a whole study plan in this book. Geez, where is it? Probably, it's somewhere in here. Man, you'd think I'd know my book a little bit. It's in here. There it is. Under the How to Use This Study Guide session, I do lay out a study plan for you to kind of follow. And I've seen a lot of success using that study plan. So give that a shot. So 2 hours a night, 10 minutes at a time, take a break, then get back to it for 10 minutes, and then take a break, and get back to it 10 minutes, etc., etc. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that sounds right up your alley, because I'm all about efficiency and effectiveness. So shortening it to 10 minutes makes it pretty efficient, and it is actually really effective, as studies have shown. So also, before you take your test, go for a walk. Test taking scores have been shown to increase if somebody has exercised right before taking a test, within half an hour of taking a test. So before your exam, wherever the testing center is, maybe just walk around that testing center a few times. Just get your blood pumping. Exercise is good for you. Who would have thunk it, right? And that's why I lift weights. And hey, my brachialis right there. So yeah, make sure you exercise before you take your exam. You don't have to lift weights. You don't have to do anything crazy like that. But just go for a walk around the building a couple times, and you might actually do better. And stay hydrated for sure. Make sure you drink plenty of water. And studies have shown that people that are more hydrated than those that aren't actually score higher on tests as a result. So your brain functions properly when you are properly hydrated. That's why you get hangovers, because alcohol is a diuretic and it makes you pee, and every time you pee you lose a lot of water, and you have water around your brain. So if you lose all that water, you have less water in your brain, that less cushion. That's what gives you the crushing headaches the next morning. So make sure you drink plenty of water leading up to your test. Okay, it looks like my time is up, so hopefully this helps. Hopefully you got some good tips out of it. and I will be back at some point, probably in the next week or two, to do another live Q&A session. I'll make sure I schedule it ahead of time, so more people can join. Probably not on a Sunday anymore, since apparently nobody is out on a Sunday, and nobody wants to listen to me on a Sunday afternoon or evening. So, so yeah, that's about it. So, cheers.